What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be talking about where the auction house is currently at post Super Pack drop today. Now, I have seen this kind of quite often while I've been putting up players that, guess what? A lot of these Galaxy Opals are going to go way down in price. Same thing with some of the Dark Matters. Same thing with maybe even some, 100 overall type cards. Now, we'll talk specifically about what cards are going to go way down in price today. And as we do dive into that, if you're new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button. As always, I appreciate all the support on the channel. I want to start with Galaxy Opal Victor Wembanyama, okay? Out of Super Packs today, he is going to be pulled at a very high rate. So you're going to see a lot of these Wembies, right? But once you get to right now, like the 2 hour and 15 minute mark, you're going to see a ton of them. Why? Because he is flying out of Super Packs today. Look at all of these new Victor Wembanyamas added into the auction house. His price today is going to go down by quite a bit because, again, there's just a lot of Wembies that are going to go up throughout today. Another card that could lose some value throughout today is Dark Matter Michael Beasley. To me, he is still one of the best offensive small forwards in the game. And again, as far as is he flying out of Super Packs, there are quite a few Michael Beasleys being pulled out of Super Packs, which in turn is going to drop his price by quite a bit. Now, another thing I do want to kind of make note of, Larry Bird. With the equal chance Super Packs in the game, Larry Birds are going to be pulled at a decent level. Now, I'm not saying today is going to necessarily be the day to buy him, but like last Thursday was the best day to buy Dirk, right? Last Thursday, Dirk was going for literally exactly 2 million MT. Now he's above that. And so maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, if you want Larry Bird, is the day that I'd recommend buying him because, again, once these packs leave in 2 days, Larry Bird's going to get more and more rare because, again, this, equal chance Super Pack is no longer going to be in the game, which is important to make note of. But today, any of the good Galaxy Opals, any of the good, any of the good Dark Matters are going to be, not super expensive. Heck, even some of the 100 overalls are going to go down in price today. I pulled Chris Webber, for example, so his price should decrease slightly. I'm not saying it's going to decrease by a ton, but should ever so slightly go down in value. It's something that, I always kind of pay attention to is, what are the bottom levels of these cards going to be like? And again, they are going to drop in price. But mainly for like the Galaxy Opals, that's really where you're going to find prices drop like crazy. Now, at this stage, I will say, there's not that many good Galaxy Opals in the game or great Galaxy Opals in the game. And so that is something to obviously keep in the back of your mind is there's just not that many great Galaxy Opals. But the Galaxy Opals to look at that you might want to pick up, a guy like Galaxy Opal Giannis. Price today, gonna go way down in price. Same thing with Wembanyama. Because Galaxy Opals, say what you want about them, they're flying out of packs today, right? I opened packs today, and guess what? Galaxy Opals were flying out of packs today. Like Giannis for 14,000 MT. I can't hate on that. Wemby for basically 100,000 MT. I can't hate on that. Even some of the other Dark Matter centers in the game, you're probably going to be able to snag for cheap today. Taco's price is going to go down a little. I'm not going to say it's going to be cheap, but it obviously is going to go down because there are, I'm not going to say a ton, but quite a few Taco falls coming out of Super Packs. You guys can see it. A ton more being pulled. Same thing with Rick Smits. These are cards that now are relatively rare, but again, with Super Packs being added into the game today, these are cards that are being pulled at a relatively decently high level. That again, if you can get your hands on these cards, again, they're really solid, and again, price-wise today are going to go down. Now, as far as GOATs, as far as 100 overalls, these cards are still going to be insanely high in price. I don't see a lot of these things crashing in a big time way, especially given like, they're super rare. You're not going to pull a lot of these cards in Super Packs. You're going to pull some, but like I said, the majority of cards that are pulled today, as far as GOATs, are going to be Larry Bird because he is that equal chance topper. He is the guy that if you do pull a GOAT card and open that, equal chance, you're probably pulling GOAT Larry Legend. Now, again, as far as Invincibles, I don't see a ton of Invincibles being pulled either because, again, a lot of people, as far as their toppers, are opting to get that equal chance topper instead of that, invincible or 100 overall, which I personally think it's way more worth it to get that, equal chance topper just for that chance at Larry Bird. So I don't see, a ton of invincibles crashing as well. And so it's weird that today, like my biggest takeaway is guess what? Wemby is going to go down in price. This Yao, I don't love him, but if you want Yao, he's going to go down in price. A lot of these good Galaxy Opal cards, like I've mentioned with, Giannis Antetokounmpo, these are the cards that are going to go down in price. It's just sad because at this stage, like the Galaxy Opals of the world are no longer that great, especially when you can get Mo Bamba for cheap, especially when you can get a lot of these really good cards for super cheap without having to go broke. It really is a tough time to be a Galaxy Opal in this game, knowing that they are no longer at that elite level. And if you look here at the pack odds, this is something I want to hit on. Like, you are so much more likely to get a Galaxy Opal than a Dark Matter. Out of every pack, you're basically guaranteed a Dark Matter, and you only got guaranteed a Galaxy Opal, and you only got a 14% chance to pull a Dark Matter. And so that's why when I say like the Galaxy Opals are really the only thing that's gonna crash in a big time way today. Sure, we might see some minor decreases in some of the other cards as far as their prices are concerned. Like even as Jurudis Ilgauskas may come down a little, but as far as how many of him are being pulled, not nearly as many Big Z's are being pulled compared to like Wemby's. Now there are some being pulled. I'm not saying there's none. There are some being pulled, but as far as like compared to like a Victor Wembanyama, those type of cards, it's really not particularly close. Same thing here that I talked about with Larry Bird is Dwight Howard. I'm not going to say you need to rush to get him because I wouldn't obviously do that. But if you do want Dwight Howard, I would try to get him, Wednesday or Thursday. I think that's probably going to be your best day to buy him. Again, I don't necessarily love Dwight, especially when you've got Nate Thurman, you got Brook Lopez, you've got plenty of other options that you guys can play. But again, I don't mind the card, especially, given his price tag here in a couple of days, which I do think is definitely not going to be bad whatsoever. So that's kind of something to maybe think about, to maybe, keep your eye on is the prices of some of these new cards with those equal chance packs being in the game. For me, myself, am I in a buyer's position? Am I in a seller's position? Well, right now, I'm not really doing anything. Like, I'm just kind of standing pat with where my squad is at. I've thought about going through selling some of my players, but at the end of the day, like, I like my squad. I don't think, it's worth selling any of my cards. Now, as far as the cards that I pulled today, I'm absolutely going to sell them. Now, again, price-wise, they might go up, they might go down. I'm not sure on all of that. But for me, I'm going to just take my MT that I made from this pack opening and run with it, right? Hopefully my Dwight sells for a decent amount, whether I get a lot or a little for Danny Manning, Victor Wembanyama, those type of cards. Probably not going to get a ton from them, but everything I get is just icing on the cake because I don't necessarily expect to get a ton from a lot of these cards. But even if you count like the Dark Matters that all are going to add up, I'm going to end up making a decent amount from the pack open. And I didn't pull the card I obviously wanted, right? I wanted Larry Bird first and foremost. Obviously didn't pull him, but it is what it is at the end of the day. When these things do go through and sell, I'll have that little bit more of MT to work with. I might tomorrow go through and see like what prices are going for and maybe like see, okay, is it worth it to sell my Yao? Is it worth it to keep my Yao? Those types of things. But as far as I'm concerned right now, I like where my squad is at. I like where my MT account is at, and I'm in a solid position, and I am more than content just staying with where I'm at. So that's kind of what I'm looking for right now. And again, I've got some unsellable players. Rudy, Ralph, Cedric, LeBron. I got enough unsellable players that even Larry Bird, like if I go and try to, sell my team, I still have a decent team that I can go out there and compete with. So as far as me, I wish I would have pulled more as far as, these event cards because I'm still in kind of no man's land when it comes down to it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm okay with the position I'm in. That's going to wrap it up for our video today. Let me know your thoughts on the market, where it's at. If you do want a guy like Wembanyama, I would recommend picking up Galaxy Opal Wemby today. As far as everybody else, like I said, Miles Turner is going to go down in price. Some of these top Galaxy Opals in the game, you should be able to snag for cheap. Even Purvis Ellison is going to be a good guy, a good day to buy him. Same thing with Evan Turner. These type of budget guys, I would pick up today. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.